Hi friends, it's Anna. I'm here with another very short and sweet empties slash what I've moved out of my house update for you. I don't actually have any wax melts that I've emptied this week. Although I have been melting, I've not gotten any wax melts that I emptied, but I do have two large empties to talk about. This is Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin Candle. If you know Bath & Body Works has not come out with this year. They did not bring Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin back this year, at least not during this first fall launch. I don't know if it's coming later. I'm very sad, because this for years has been my favorite pumpkin scent. For years. I had this candle last year, and for some reason, at the end of pumpkin season, instead of just continuing to, it was about half a candle, instead of just continuing to burn it like I would normally do and then move into my peppermint just a little bit later, because it really, I could have gone through it super quickly. For some reason, I just decided to put it away. I am so glad I put this candle away, because I went in the store to get my fall wallflowers, fully expecting to get Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin, and they did not have them. The associate that was helping me look for them was also very upset. She said, I don't know if it's coming in a later launch or if we're not getting it this year, but she said it's my favorite too for the fall. She was very upset, but she said we don't have it. So I'll tell you in a minute about the wallflowers that I found to be sort of a close replacement, but I did finish this candle. And of course, you guys know what I did. I burned it till it put itself out. And then I put the last of it in there. I put it in the freezer. And I popped the last of the wax out. And I melted it. I melted this in the library in here 3 days so far this month. And it finished this candle up. I am so sad because I don't know if I'll ever see this scent again. But I'm also very proud of another candle empty. I also have a big accomplishment. Twilight Woods. Twilight Woods in the lotion. For those of you that do not know what Twilight Woods is, I'm trying to see if I can read the fragrance notes. The powerful, a hypnotic blend of enticing fruits and warm cypress inspired by a romantic walk in enchanted woods. Okay, so hypnotic blend of enticing fruits and warm cypress inspired by a romantic walk in enchanted woods. So I don't know what enticing fruits are in this. I don't particularly know what a warm cypress oil is or fragrance, but I do know something about this fragrance. For those of you who are around my age, who maybe like me, you were discouraged from Harry Potter, because it was also popular when I was the right age to be reading it, honestly. But I've always been discouraged from it. Now, truth be told, I am on the 4th book on YouTube audiobook. There's a whole story there, and if you know, you know. It's actually been a big part of beginning to heal from the loss of Dusty. I don't know that I will ever be fully healed from that. It is so hard to believe she's been gone 5 years. Like, some days it still feels like yesterday. But I am beginning to slowly heal from it. And I fully believe those books are a part of it. But, back to the story of the Twilight Woods. Back then, I was discouraged from Harry Potter. I'm going to turn this so you can see it while I talk. From the time I was 5 years old, I've always had a love of Snow White. It's like she's always been my favorite princess. It's a deeper love now because of the similarity physically to my Dusty. Like the appearance of her as a princess. But I've always had a love of Snow White. And when you think of Snow White, you always think of the evil queen in her hand, okay? This is a bowl of Halloween M&Ms that I've got. They're purple and orange and a fluorescent lime green, if you can see. But I'm going to demo something. So you have the picture of the evil queen. And if this bowl of M&Ms was the poison apple, she's holding out the apple to entice Snow White to take the bite. Because it's just one bite, dearie. And all your dreams will come true. Okay, yes, I'm a Snow White now. But back when Harry Potter was also popular, there was this book that had come out. And while some of my friends were obsessed with Harry Potter, and I was not allowed to read that, I had a group of friends who were obsessed with this new book that had come out. And it was called Twilight. And I knew nothing about this book. And then I was at lunch one day, and one of my friends she had brought her copy of Twilight to lunch with her, and she was reading it. And what I saw on the cover was what I later learned was Edward's hands. But they were sitting like this. And in them they held an apple. And I was like, oh my word. I knew nothing about the book, but I was convinced from that picture that it was some kind of spin-off of Snow White. And so I went home and I was like, oh my gosh, I need this book. I said, it's got Snow White's apple on the cover, the white hand. Like, I knew nothing about this book, but I was obsessed. And so, my mom did some research because she had some friends at work whose kids around my age were also obsessed with this book. So she did some research and she brought it home and she said, I don't think you're really going to like this, but you can try it. And I read all the time and she knows how I read. And she handed me this book and it was this super thick book. If you know Twilight, you know. It's super thick like Harry Potter's books are. She handed me this book and she's like, I don't think you're going to like it, but here. I started reading the book. I did not know what I was getting into. Bella moving to Washington, blah, blah, blah. If you know Twilight, you know the story. If you don't know, she lives with her mom. She moves with her dad, who is the chief of police in the town in Seattle, Washington. I can't think of the name of the town right now. And his name is Charlie Swan, Chief Swan. And her name is Bella. It's Isabella, but they call her Bella. And she goes to high school. And she is, like, she's super awkward. New student in the, middle of, like, this is awkward. School's been in long enough for them to be in a routine. And here she comes, this new student awkwardness. and she runs into the Cullens in the cafeteria. She thinks they're odd because they're not really eating, but she doesn't really eat in public either, so she doesn't think a whole lot of it. Now, she's human, but she just has a weird thing, and she doesn't like to eat in public. I honestly think maybe she was trying to portray a mild case of ARFID disorder, but I'm not going to get into that. But, she doesn't really eat in public a lot either, so it's not like she thinks they're just crazy or anything. She's just she's drawn to them, and she says, who's this family? And her couple of friends that she's made, they explain to her who the Cullens are, and she's like, they're weird. It's this Dr. Carlisle and Dr. Cullen and his wife, and they've adopted all these kids. There's 6 of them, and they're all in pairs. They're like, and she's like, oh, high school romance. She's like, no, they're together, but they're also like brother and sister, and we don't really understand what it is. But then there's this other one, and he doesn't, like, she's going, there's one missing today. Her friend Jessica's going, there's one missing today. And she says, okay. Well, a few days later, in comes this other Cullen guy, who turns out, of course, to be Edward Cullen. Well, if you know the story, they get into a romance, but he's a vampire, and her blood is intoxicating to him. But what's so special about the Cullens is they don't eat human blood. They hunt animals. So he's not a danger to her. But it's really hard for him because her blood is so intoxicating to him. Well, this scent, okay, I promise we're getting back to this. Twilight Woods. This was released when that book and that series, which of course turned into 4 books and 5 movies from it and all the things, was so popular. And the associate, when I first started buying Twilight Woods at the store where I purchased at the time, she told me that this scent was developed to try to replicate for us what Stephanie Meyer imagined Bella's blood would smell like to Edward. I love the scent anyway. It truly is a beautiful scent. I have never looked at this scent the same way because I was 100% Team Edward and Bella. There was the heart, Team Jacob or Team Edward. I was Team Edward all the way, but it wasn't because I was obsessed with him. It was because I was obsessed with their romance. So this being developed to smell like she smelled to him has always made it hold a very special place in my heart. And I think it's depicted when it says, inspired by a romantic walk in enchanted woods. If you know the story, he takes her to some woods to show her who he is, and that's where their romance really begins to bud. And I think that is such a sweet little kind of nod to Twilight as a series that they put in their scent description. I still have a little bit of a bottle of the shower gel and a little bit of the bottle of the fragrance mist that are currently in use, but the lotion is gone. And yeah, there's no lid. You know where it is. It's over in Brother Jim's collection. Because I'm just trying to use everything I have up. So, yes, I had some partials of things that were used at different rates because this was before they put pumps on their lotions and made them so easy, or provided pumps for us to buy for their lotions to make them so easy to use. And a lot of times I would just skip the lotion, honestly. So I've got things finished that are finishing at very different rates, but I'm so proud because I'm almost my shower gels. So the lotions are 8 ounce. Shower gels are 10. If you know Bath and Body, you know. But my shower gel is sitting, now it's a 10 ounce bottle versus the 8 ounce. But the shower gel is sitting at the top of the words signature collection. So it's that low. I was just in the shower this evening, so that's how I know that. My fragrance mist is got a little bit more, but we all know fragrance mists take a long time to use. Well, this was supposed to be quick, and we're 15 minutes in, and I'm not even done. And okay. And the other thing I actually used up this week, finished, is another wallflower bulb. This was another lakeside morning that when it finished, I pulled from, it was in the hallway out here, and when it got low, you know what I do, because the associate told me never to let them go dry. I pull them, pull the wicks out. This oil went in my diffuser, and it's gone. So proud. I'm going to talk to you about one wallflower that I did put in. I do not have a wallflower that it replaced because I actually did something again that I don't normally do. And I have 2 parcels of summer wallflowers that are in my storage drawers. Now, one partial was put away the very beginning of the month on Labor Day when I was allowed to switch to fall. The other one I let continue until this week. My brother and I took his dog on Thursday and went to the outlets. And I went into our Bath and Body outlet. I had another reward to use after he did some shopping. He won't create an account and get his own rewards, no matter how much I try to convince him to. So I told him, okay, fine, if you don't want to earn rewards, give him my phone number every time you go in there. I'll take the points. And he went in. He needed some new sanitizers. He's an EMT, and it's, guys, he goes through sanitizer. He needed some new sanitizers. And I think he said a body spray for his toiletry kit that he takes back and forth to work. He went in and he made his purchase, and then I had earned a free reward. Another free reward. So I went into Bath and Body and I picked up another of the pumpkin wallflower plugs. The actual plugs with the pumpkin on it. That's the scent control, and it has the light. It's the same one I have in here. I picked up another one to go in my bedroom. Well, when I brought it home, then I needed to put a pumpkin wallflower in it, because I can't have a pumpkin that has a summer scent in it. So I went ahead and pulled that one. And the wallflowers that I'm using, since they do not have my sweet cinnamon pumpkin, the wallflower I'm using this year is caramel pumpkin swirl. It is luscious caramel, ground cinnamon, rich brown sugar, and creamy vanilla fragrance note. Now, it's called caramel pumpkin swirl. They don't list pumpkin in the notes, but I promise you there is pumpkin in this wallflower. Anyway, so I now have that wallflower going in both rooms at very different rates, because one was put in basically 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks behind the other one, but that's okay. Then I have these 2 pieces of paper here. I'm gonna flash them really quickly. One has 2 bars written on it. One has 5 bars written on it. These are bars. These are 7 bars that were brand new bars. I did not want these bars, but they left my house in the mail pickup this morning. 2 of these bars will arrive at one of your houses on Monday, and the other 5 of these bars will arrive at potentially one of your houses. I don't know if she's gonna watch this video or not. supposedly Tuesday. Per tracking. One's arriving Monday and one's arriving Tuesday. I got out of my house 1 bar of root beer float and 1 bar of Ursula. You probably know, like when I say that, everybody who watches this video probably knows where those bars went. I'm not saying because I kind of hope she doesn't see this till after she gets the bars, because I want it to kind of be a surprise. I love the Ursula bar. It's in my club. I do a couple of very special mixes with it. But I know she loves it. And I wanted to make sure she had a bar for some very important things coming up. So, and then root beer float. Some of you may disown me, but I did not care for that bar. I had another piece of a bar that I was given when root beer float was released in Bring Back My Bar. I had a piece of a bar that I was given to try. And I warmed that. And it's not one that I had to pull out of my warmers. It wasn't like nauseating or anything. Kind of like Strawberry Swirl is to me. I can do it. I've only ever had 1 bar that nauseated me, and that was Cookies for Santa. The milk note was just too strong. But I think the milk note in general from Scentsy, I don't love. Or the like dairy note. I think I just don't love from Scentsy. So I put in the root beer float, and it was okay. It went for 3 days. It was super strong and super powerful performer for me, and I didn't have to pull it out of my warmers, but it was just one of those bars that I was like, I don't need this again. So I was thrilled to also send that to that same friend because I know she loves it. Then I have this sheet of 5 bars here. 1 blue hyacinth, 1 jammy thyme, 1 hibiscus pineapple, 1 sweet pea and vanilla, and 1 lucky in love. She does know they're coming, so I will say these 5 are going to my precious friend Sue Connor. She knows which ones are coming too, because I'd already told her that. These are all some of her favorites, well, except for blue hyacinth. She's never smelled blue hyacinth, but she loves the Cinderella bar, the Cinderella Happily Ever After bar. Currently, at this moment, I don't have any more Cinderella bars I could send her. So I sent blue hyacinth as a stand-in similar scent. She's actually never smelled Lucky in Love from Scentsy, but there's a story to her attachment to Love Spell, and I'll tell you in a minute. But jammy thyme, hibiscus pineapple, and sweet pea and vanilla are 3 of her favorites, bars that she had used up and she was asking about. So I have those in a package that she ordered out. Well, I say she ordered out. We have an arrangement, and there's always all kinds of stuff I find that she'll love that I throw into her packages too. But then I also included the 5th bar here is a bar of Lucky in Love. If you guys would do me a favor, send extra prayers for my Susie this week, in general, but particularly on Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be a really hard day, because Wednesday is her precious Jodie's birthday. And just like I've told y'all before about some of the crazy connections that we have with dates and connections with her Jodie and my Dusty. Like, it's crazy, some of the things. but both of their birthdays being in September too, like it's really kind of neat how God did that for us. But the Love Spell fragrance was one of her favorites to wear, one of Jody's favorites to wear. And it's so sweet, y'all. My Susie has a piece of a bottle of Love Spell mist that Jody actually had when she passed. And she, like, she'll use it some, but I highly doubt she will ever be able to actually empty that bottle, because it's one of those connections to her Jody. And I know on some level what that's like, because there is a special perfume that I found while Dusty was fighting her cancer battle that was actually a Susan G. Komen fragrance. They only made it for that 1 year. I had to buy it. I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. It's called Promise Me, if you know what that is. Steph, if you watch this, you're the perfume fanatic. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And if you know what I'm talking about and you know places I can find it, please let me know, because I know eBay and Amazon's only going to last so long. Eventually, the sellers are going to run out. But Susan G. Komen made this fragrance for 1 year. They were actually donating part of the proceeds, obviously, to the Susan G. Komen Research Fund. I had to get this bottle of this perfume, and we were at the outlets. At the perfume outlet, it was probably about this time of year, in the fall of 2018, so right in the middle of her fight. And I bought it, and I refused to wear it until October, because October and the breast cancer awareness. I sprayed this perfume on and wore it to the first service in the month of October at the church. And when I went up to her, like I did every service, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? I love that. I need that. Well, of course, I started crying, because I'm like, she doesn't even know what it is. But I swear she knows what it is. And so I pulled out my phone and I showed her the pictures of the bottle. And she loved it. Like, she absolutely loved it. And after that, I would wear other perfumes all through the week. But every Wednesday and every Sunday, going to church, I would wear that Promise Me for her. And she would, when I would sit down, she knew. And when I ran that bottle out, I cried, because I had looked for it and they didn't come out with it again. Thank goodness I thought to look on eBay, and I was able to find another bottle for $15 shipped. Like, it was great. And I've been able to do that one other time, and I just looked the other night, and there are still some sellers on there. But again, if you know other places I can look, please let me know, because eventually I know these sellers are going to run out. But because of that, I understand the fragrance, like, and because of our love of wax, like, we know scent memory is a real thing, and we just have those attachments. So I told her she needed a bar of Lucky in Love, because she needed to have Jody spray to warm for her birthday. And you guys, it's gonna, right now, if tracking does what it says it's gonna do, she's gonna have that bar for Jody's birthday. Because she's supposed to get it at her house on Tuesday. Jody's birthday is Wednesday, so she can get up Wednesday morning and put that wax in. I am so thrilled. So not only am I thrilled because I got 7 bars out of my collection, I'm thrilled because these are bars I know my friends that are getting them are going to have super special connections to, and I'm so excited. Plus, the empties that I have were larger empties this time. So this feels like a big accomplishment week, even though it was a much smaller week as far as actual usage. It feels like a super big accomplishment week. And I just still wanted to come on and share, even though I easily could have saved another week's worth of stuff. And just done it in 2 weeks. But no, I didn't want to do that. And here I am, half an hour in, with supposedly quick empties. Oh, Lord. You guys, this is what I do. You know where you are. You also, I hope by now, know that I love you. And until I see you again, my friends, have a blessed day on purpose.